He's one of India's finest filmmakers, and he's back after 14 years with a feature film. And this time it's a rom com called What's Love Got to Do with It? Say hello to Shekhar Kapur. Welcome to WION, Shekhar.
Great, great to be here. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so I have to tell you first, I'm a huge fan and I absolutely love Masoom. I still remember when I was a child, my mom told me because she wanted to watch Masoom. So she told me, let's watch this film. It's a bachcho ka film. That's what she told me. And I watched it and I danced and I was so happy watching the film. I still remember the emotions I felt. And then when I grew up and I watched it again with my mother, and I cried and I felt all the emotions a woman is supposed to feel. So,
Yeah.
see the kind of impact your film had on me.
So let me tell you something about Masoom. I've often thought about that. Do you know that before I made Masoom, well, obviously it was my first film. I was a chartered accountant that came back to India. I had never studied film. I had never worked or assisted anybody. I had never worked in a film with another director. So I keep thinking, like, how did I pull that off? How? I know the effect it's had people. And I realized that one of the things that we miss is naivety. Ultimately, creativity is naive. I know the film is called Masoom, The Innocents. Often when people say, why don't you make a film like Masoom? And I'm saying, well, I can't because I'm not that naive anymore. I'm burdened with skill. I'm burdened with knowledge of filmmaking. I'm burdened with my own success as an international filmmaker.
And it has been 40 years to that. And here you are making a rom com. Jemima Khan wrote the film. So tell me, how did this collaboration happen and why did she choose Shekhar Kapur? Did she tell you?
Well, you remember that the film is being produced by the people that had produced Elizabeth and Golden Age. So when she went to them and they talked about who to take as a director, my name came up. When I read the script first, everybody said it's a rom-com. I don't quite understand what a rom-com means, it is. But what I saw in the film from what Jemima had written, I felt that there was something very deeply emotional about our modern day society. And what was that? It is a search for love. It's a search for intimacy. So I saw in it the chance to look at this girl who's constantly speed dating and her experiences with a different kind of relationship, with a different kind of intimacy. It's whether everywhere in the world, it's the same issue. I wanted to make this film. Here's one bit, Pakistani family, yes, because that's Jemima's experience, because she was married to Imran Khan. So she came with that experience. And my constant idea, remember, I was like an 18-year-old when I first came to the UK. And I've been studying that society ever since. And I've been wondering how I've never speed dated. I've never been on Tinder. I wouldn't dare. But what are you looking for? How do you think you're ever going to find, if you have multiple partners, are you going to be able to find love? Is that the way? So it's such a modern day thing about what we are searching for in our lives. And that's what Jemima's script offered me. That I could explore these ideas.
Did you take these modern day love tips from your daughter? Any tips from her? Daddy, you don't understand love like the way we do.
She says that to me all the time. The one thing that I do is I now look upon the world through her also. She's 21 years old and her way of looking at life. And the only thing I ever say to her is, I'm not judgmental. You must not be judgmental. Let's not be judgmental.
Let's talk about the casting of the film. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Was Shabana Azmi and Emma Thompson your first choice for the film?
Yeah, absolutely. Shabana was easier. The moment I called her, said, let's do a film together, she said, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. I remember. And so when Shabana and I were working on the film, she kept saying, hey, Shekhar, you've not changed in 40 years. You're exactly the same. How do you do it? How do you maintain the same passion and the same curiosity? Curiosity is a word that she used. You're still so curious about everything. And I said, yeah, I mean, how else do I do it? What else is creativity? Is curiosity. So it was fantastic to work with her. We just fell into like from Masoom to there. Emma was like, we never knew if we'd get Emma. We tried it. Then one day I talked to Emma. I talked about the film. She thought about it. Then, of course, Jemima being Jemima, took her for a long walk, in Hyde Park. And then they came back and she said, "Yeah, I'll do it. We'll do it." And what a prize there was. What an amazing prize having Emma on the sets was. Other than the fact that, Shabana and Emma have become best friends. I think they still, every week, they talk to each other. They become thick friends. And that relationship helped the film. But Emma has this amazing ability. She's an amazing comic actress. And the thing about comedy is that you are a comic actress, yet you don't forget the fundamentals of the character. So with every line, you move the character forward. And Emma is fantastic at that. And often, she would just come up with lines in the middle of the shot. She would start doing something, and we'd all be, and it was so funny, so funny. And not all of them are in the film, but one day I'm going to make the director's cut of the film, and you'll laugh your head off with Emma. It was a hoot and a pleasure to work with Emma.
Why doesn't Shekhar Kapur make any commercial Hindi film anymore?
It's not true. I did come back. I did try and make Paani once, but somehow I found that making a film is like going climbing. I go climbing a lot. I used to. So you're roped to a lot of people and you're climbing this ledge. And you have to, if one person is not willing to go because you're roped to each other, everybody falls. And it's really important for the producers and the actors and the director all to have exactly the same goal, the same vision. So we found that we were not aligned in vision, and nobody's fault, Everybody has a different way of looking at life, looking at cinema. So it's not true. And now I'm going to come back and make it again. I have now found, finally, I cannot reveal it right now, but I have finally found the producers that I think that I can work with and who have the same vision as I do for the film. But I'm also going to make my daughter, you mentioned, she is a singer-songwriter, and she's very successful with the singing songwriting overseas. But she wants to make a film. She wants to act in a film. And I said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "Dad, why don't you direct me?" I said, "You may never speak to me again." He may think, "Oh, my dad's terrible. Why did I ever say that?" But I'm going to make a film with her too. And that's an indie film.
Oh, great! That's but we knew at some point that Sushant was supposed to be part of Paani. Uh, Now that he is not with us, is there somebody you have already found replacing him?
When I took on Sushant wasn't a big star. I needed somebody who's not a big star, who actually grows through the film, and you discover this person through the film. So I'll find somebody like that. It was a pity. Actually, it's far more complicated, between the time that that Yash Raj and Sushant broke up to the point of his passing away. It was almost 3-4 years. 3-4 years. By that time, I had already left and I was doing other stuff. Sushant was perfect for it at that time.
The film industry down south, well, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, all these people are making some fantastic content. Fantastic. We have seen recently from RRR, Bahubali has been quite some time, Kantara. I mean, it's great. But what's going wrong in the Hindi film industry?
I think it's not what's going wrong with what we call the Hindi film industry, or is what's going right and has always gone right in the South Indian film industry. In Kannada, or Telugu, or Tamil, or Malayalam, they've always been rooted to their culture. All the films that you mentioned are rooted in a particular culture. Whereas in Bombay, or what we call Bollywood, there's always been an attempt to go wider and not root it. And it's right. Do you remember? If there was a film, if you go back, the surnames were never mentioned. if you go back, it was always Mr. Sushil, Mr. This. Second names were never mentioned because they were very scared of rooting the film into one particular region. And that's hitting us back. I find that films in the South are succeeding because A, they've got the budgets now. They never did. They have these huge budgets they can work with. They are getting actually better with visual effects than Bombay is. And the films are still rooted. The directors live in that area. They understand. Now look at Mani Ratnam's film. It's the biggest ever novel ever written in Tamil. And yet it's huge. It's rooted. It's rooted in the Tamilian culture. And all of them, whether it's Rajamouli's films or they're rooted. And that's the reason for success. You feel that the story belongs somewhere. That's why I think.
Okay, coming back to this picture. Mr.
Yeah.
Kapoor, who gave you this picture?
Somebody from your team, they sent it to me. I mean, I never knew this picture existed. And, there's Rishi Sunak in it at the background, looking like a very eager young student because he looks so young. And there's his mother-in-law there. And, there's some other famous people in there. Amjad, of course, Amjad is there because this was a concert with Amjad Ali Khan that we attended in London. And Amjad and I were in school together. And so Amjad and I have stayed friends for many, many years. All these years, we've stayed friends. And and Rishi's mom-in-law is there. And of course, there's Sonam there, right?
Yes. And what a proud moment for us that Rishi Sunak became the PM of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it is indeed very, very proud. It's a movement, I think. He's part of a whole global shift. I remember when I first went to the UK as a young student, if you talked about Indians, they would say, oh, yeah, theek hai, they're right, either have a corner shop or they're sweeping floors at Heathrow. So I had to fight a lot of that perception. And I thought, now with the film industry and being a popular director worldwide, but Rishi's gone way ahead. Rishi's gone way ahead. He's become the Prime Minister of the UK, which is like Obama became the president of the US. Rishi became the Prime Minister of the UK. And the world is changing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shekhar, for talking to us. It was absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for reaching out. It's important.